The whispered word is vampire. The horror is real and very close.
Okay, so this is the Legend of the Seven Golden Vampires, 1974. Okay, directed by Ralph Ward Baker, and of course, written by and produced by Don Houghton. And this is the last Dracula movie came out of Hammer, so far anyway. And of course, it does not contain any mention even or glimpse of Christopher Lee.
Because the guy who played Dracula in here was John Forbes Robertson.
John Forbes Robertson. You know, and here's the thing. If you read the background on this, they actually make a point out of saying he was the only other guy to play Dracula besides Christopher Lee.
Yeah.
But technically, the Chinese guy who he took his body and when disguised as him, he was Dracula too.
It was just Dracula that was dressed a little differently.
Den Chan was his name. And by the way, I thought, well, this is also filmed posted in Hong Kong.
Mm-hmm.
So there's actually a co-director here, a guy called Che Chang.
Well, they did have some large group scenes, and I'm sure that they had to have somebody fluent in the language, moving everybody around.
Also, I'm very sure that they had to get the Chinese guys to do all the kung fu scenes.
Well,
absolutely.
And the thing is, that's probably had to have the second director probably because they had a lot of the stuff because they filmed in Hong Kong, and apparently Roy Ward Baker said that it was a nightmare because very few of these guys actually spoke English, so they had to let them do their stuff.
Just stay out of their way.
I don't know if you remember the Kung Fu craze.
Right.
This would have been at the height of the Kung Fu craze because Enter the Dragon would have been released this year.
Absolutely.
74. Yes. Absolutely. Another Warner's Brother film.
Absolutely. And this was also part of a joint venture between Hammer and a Chinese company.
Run Shaw, the Shaw brothers.
And there's only 2 films filmed in Hong Kong, and I haven't seen the other one. God dang it, I can't think of the name of it now.
But there's a Hammer movie, another Hammer movie?
Made in Hong Kong, yeah. And it's not a...
Was it anything about Fu Manchu?
No, it wasn't a Fu Manchu film. And Christopher Lee's not in it at all. Peter Cushing is. It's called Shatter, and it's a hitman film. Oh. And Stuart Whitman's the big name, the big American name in it.
So it was more like a crime drama thing. Before I begin the opening segment, just like Tim was implying, this was an interesting film where they combined Oriental martial arts with vampires.
Right, because most of the actors in here were Hong Kong martial art actors.
I spent a lot of time in the 80s. I lived 6 or 7 years in Korea. It wasn't unusual to watch video movies in China, Chinese version of vampires, the Gongxi, and they were also wrapped around, like this, a lot of Kung Fu action. So this might have started something, but I mean, the genre lasted for a while.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen several Chinese movies involved, like Kung Fu and vampires.
And like I said, I've seen my share of that, and I've seen a few Chinese vampire films too. It's just that with this one, with Hammer, this was just ridiculous to make it a Dracula film. But like I said, they were trying to save the franchise because the last one they did here, the Satanic Rites, like a Bond film almost. So they were trying anything to attach.
They were trying to catch something hot.
You know what, though?
So yeah, and the thing too about Peter Cushing being in this film, Christopher Lee tried to talk him out of it, but he...
Yeah, I did see that too, but apparently this was the way he was going to deal with some of the depression from the fact that his wife had passed away.
Right, he was dealing with the grief of his wife. Get it off his mind, get out of the country.
Yeah. So the first clip is actually the beginning, which sets up the general plot, and generally speaking, the only time we see Dracula, except for that minute or two at the very end of the movie.
And so what was the first clip we were going to watch?
This
is the beginning that sets up everything. We've got the...
Oh, you mean the Chinese guy coming in and
Dracula help you? And he's seeking out Dracula.
And it's kind of funny when the goat herder sees him and then he freaks out. Like he's never seen an Asian guy before.
Well, back in that day and age, he probably had it.
And, you gotta love that.
Just like you were there for real.
he looks like a vampire. And he's an ugly Dracula, but he looks kind of, I don't know, emaciated or effeminate or something.
Are you-
the Dracula right now?
This guy, that John Ford Robinson guy,
They put too much lipstick on him.
I think that's probably a big part of it. There it is.
Yeah, his makeup's a little flaky.
Either that or he's been like eating popsicles or something.
Yeah.
Too much cherry Kool-Aid.
Yes.
Who are you?
Although that was kind of a cool effect.
And I'm sorry, I don't remember the guy's name, but that's actually, although that's guys playing Dracula, his voice is being dubbed. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I'm just saying it's interesting because then two guys actually play Dracula, or this third guy, if you count the Chinese guy that he turns into.
Yeah.
And he really should. You were correct because he
And
shows up in.
And I also find it interesting that you do have, I mean, it's realistic, but the fact that he's speaking Chinese or Mandarin, you assume, Cantonese, whatever, and
Dracula
you know, another a lesser film would have had him speaking English.
So right now he's asking for Dracula's help, right? To come help
Yeah.
the other 7 golden vampires.
To reinvigorate this, they're called,
Gosh.
so he can get his power back.
And it's too bad Dracula didn't first say, "What the f did you just say?"
English,
Yeah,
man.
that would have been funny. Okay, I don't speak Chinese, twit.
How about Romanian? Can we get
The
there?
Grinch just had a wonderful Grinchy idea.
I need your mortal coil.
Well, here's something. Don't even go there.
Yeah. It was too late. Too late.
Yes, that is pretty overt.
Free from these walls.
But
Free from this mausoleum.
His mortal coil, his special purpose.
has he ever,
Wang.
in any of the lore that you know of, has he been limited in this, like
I will
he's
recall
speaking?
the 7 golden vampires as my own host. Tools of my vengeance.
Because he's saying he can't leave in his present form.
Well, he can't leave in the daylight. Yeah, he could leave.
Your appearance.
But isn't there like there's some lore he's got to sleep on native Earth or he's got to contact his native Earth so often or something like that?
That's why you take caskets with you for your native form. That's
Yeah.
right in the novel.
Well, I think we can go ahead and safely say that wasn't actually very well explained, but it's not the biggest hole in the film.
No, it's not a. I mean, it's one of those things that just bugs you if you think about it. I mean, it would make sense that he would want to go in some sort of disguise, in some respects.
Yeah, but the way he came off, it was like he was stuck there, and the only way to get out was to do this.
True.
Right, like he was cursed, like somebody put some type of cosmic barrier.
Like he was caught in the tomb.
Your image, your own image. But beneath the image, the immortal power of Count Dracula.
That is evil.
Yeah,
Also,
but
to become truly.
I thought that was a
Possibly.
bit. We're gonna assume you guys are silly or stupid.
Well, you know, they need a mechanism to get the rest of the movie going, and it wasn't bad. Although I am curious as to, you know, is it something where did they know Dracula? Is there like this vampire underworld? Is it like all evil beings are kind of aware of each other? You know,
Well, he did
and
call.
that's sort of hinted at in the opening scene with Peter Cushing. when he's talking about like different legends of vampires throughout the world, and how he was the student, and how he mentions Dracula as the arch vampire. Nobody else believes him except the guy from the Seven Brothers. But I'm just saying there is a little scene in here where they do a short little talk about global vampirism.
Right, and Dracula does call this guy a minion, so he has to be part of that. So they must know of him. He never would have been there, and Dracula would not have called him one of his minions. But yeah, make that too obvious.
So I see you skipped over the scene where all the maidens around the blood tub. I'm just
That was
thinking that
central
would
to
have
the
been one of
plot.
those.
That was my
Oh.
husband's favorite scene.
I was going to say
Yes,
that-
but it's
I
not
was
like
gonna-
he can't watch it on his own. The thing is, at this when we're doing it, this is where I would normally choose like 3 scenes.
Character development.
Well, I
Exposition,
mean, like
it was all
like
there.
that scene was interesting because it explained. Okay, you did set up the backstory of the golden vampires and the fact that you did have a farmer was able to kill one of the 7 vampires.
And it was a story being told by Peter Cushing as Van Helsing.
Yes.
Right.
He was using that as
This-
his introduction to the whatever body he was addressing.
Yes.
But that brings up
And
the
of
question
course-
later on for me.
And you know
Later
about
on.
why there was so much toplessness in those girls?
Oh no, I wasn't questioning that.
Or the fact that was only
Uh-huh.
2 or 3 of them was topless.
Look, proper sacrifices needs a little. It's going to be a proper sacrifice. It's got to have a little of that, right? No, my
Yeah.
question is about the amulet. No, the sacrifice. I'm totally cool with how they did that.
Well, the amulet, yeah, that's true. We can talk about that later because I was a little confused about what they really wanted to do with that. But
You talking about the bat,
yeah,
the
Yes.
golden bat? Yeah, that was
Yeah.
pretty funny.
Okay. Well, like I said, it was a question for later because you know what? They tell the story that the farmer defeats him by yanking off the amulet, but nobody else yanks off amulets the rest of the movie. So there's only one person yanking off in the beginning.
Yeah, with all those naked girls they were showing getting tortured to be yanking off throughout the
Yeah.
whole thing.
Yeah, you'd think there'd be a lot more yanking going on.
of course.
Gee,
Anyway,
They
But-
were really good about Peter Cushing mentions that European vampires can't stand the cross, and then Asian vampires can't stand anything to do with Buddha. So I thought that was kind of
although,
cute.
well, I thought that was interesting, but that also brought up what if you had like a Shinto vampire?
Hey there, Mr. Shintoist. Merry Christmas. Oh, sorry.
I can see that.
But still,
Or
it's
Hindu.
it's an interesting consideration. Yeah.
That calls into question: is a vampire? What are they versus nature? Because isn't Shinto? Isn't that pretty much like a religion based on nature
Yeah,
for the most part? Man's place in nature.
like nature is God or God is nature.
I mean, they're not exactly.
I know
tree
there's
huggers,
that.
but they're trying to, they figure out the balance between man and nature and all that.
Right.
So I mean, would that call into question what the nature of the vampire itself? Because I mean,
It could.
because
yeah, but
I
you're
mean,
thinking too deep. And you're
what?
right, but I think you're thinking too deep about this film.
Well, that's the
Well,
fun
I-
of
I
Dorkin.
had to come back from the yanking off thing.
But anyway, just
A little
before
redemption. Come on now.
The
Before-
irony of it is you did a whole lot of yanking off to get it over with there. Okay, I've forgotten all about it now.
you just had to get it out of your system. I understand. Anyway, before this
I
next
sleep.
clip, just to fill you in on what happened after that opening, I don't know what the time jump is because they weren't very clear on this.
Yeah, they weren't.
It opens up to Van Helsing
Yeah, Helsing.
having a lecture with Chinese academics.
Yeah, in a Chinese university,
A
and
group of very skeptical Chinese academics.
Yes. and
Yes.
true,
Saying that their sophistication was being insulted by such folklore.
true.
So,
Yeah.
needless to say,
Exactly.
he lost the audience kind of quickly. But there was one person,
Who listened very intently.
yes, somebody who was experiencing it.
Yeah,
One of the
well,
seven brothers and a blood relative of the farmer that died in the opening scene.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the grandfather
Where-
was the
yeah.
one who killed the 7th vampire, the 7th golden vampire.
I don't know if you're going to show that part, but they do find his remnants of his kill around the cast. I don't remember that scene or not, but like they find a couple little things that belong
Did
to
they
him.
find a skull and a mask?
Yeah,
Yes, and then he said the legend's true.
It's
Yes.
true. It's true.
that's true. Yes.
But right now, they've just delivered the lecture,
You're right.
right?
We find out.
The academics have walked out, but there's one person who stayed behind. It was somebody from the village. The legend was that they're thinking that it was a legendary village or Pingquay.
Or no, yeah, Piquet or something, however they pronounced it.
And the guy tells him that they're suffering from that.
Yeah, that he's
But-
come from that village. And then we also find out that Van Helsing has a son, and he's also there in China. And they eventually help a rich woman who ends up sponsoring their trip.
Julie.
So this next scene playing one of the larger martial arts sequences. This is where they're beginning to head out into the countryside, and they run into the rogue.
Well, it was a local boss. One of the things that they
Gangsters.
showed earlier in the movie, Van Helsing's son was at a dinner, and there was a local boss who was putting on the dinner, and he was putting the moves on the countess, or he was made to look the fool during that encounter.
I thought that was interesting because I kind of looked at that as foreshadowing. The guy from the village was talking about how his population, especially the women, are being preyed upon by the vampires, and the vampires are men. And then they show this scene where you have the local mob boss, and he looks like he's trying to set himself up to prey upon the rich woman. And I'm like thinking, that's kind of interesting. I don't know if anybody else thought of that. So this scene here, this is where they are heading out, and they are again like in the countryside. They are set upon by the boss's flunkies.
A small army, actually.
Yeah, a small army.
Flunkies.
But they're clearly outnumbered. But they go ahead and take care of business.
Because they're trained.
Okay, I want to say the pith helmet didn't.
You're right, especially when they had to put this scarf on it. It looked kind of femmy, I had to admit.
With that, and it's so clean for being out there on the desert road, on the dirt road.
Oh shit! He's the boss because he's got the hat on.
Yes.
And he's on a horse.
Yes. Well, I was thinking the hat looked like a pork pie hat. I think that's a name for it. And he's got the best laugh. That's probably how he became boss.
It's a very necessary thing, though, in Kung Fu movies. Somebody's got to have a laugh like that.
Oh, yeah. I like the way she takes the horses.
This ain't playing around, yeah.
Okay, none of them are using wood. They're all like aluminum stuff.
Not only that, but
Or silver.
guns certainly were around at this stage of civilization.
Well, the question is how accessible were
Well, still, the young Van
I would
Helsing
say
has a gun.
accessible.
Why didn't he just walk around and shoot people?
Absolutely.
I
We
mean,
have
that would take the excitement out of it, but
It's a Kung Fu movie.
yeah.
Enjoy it. It is the most feminist thing I've ever seen Peter Cushing wear, though.
they? Should have shown some blood coming out of his nostrils. Running the ears. Good shot.
I'm telling you.
Just two-fisted. Two hands of death.
Nice use of blood. Seems kind of unsporting, huh?
Yeah, he shot the wrong guy too. Oh, there.
You got the right
He's
one.
got him.
You know, they could have had a training montage earlier before they left and made him a Kung Fu master.
What, with the Rocky theme in the background?
Exactly.
But
Or
I
the theme of mannequin. The theme of mannequin was mannequin. Nothing's gonna stop us now. They asked for it.
Happy paid him well.
oh. Actually, I like
An
this.
evil claw.
Yeah, and I like the fact that he wiped his fingers off.
I think that really got her attention. Oh, we're going right to the
Stop. What
Oh, the end of Paul?
a head on. What.
right to the end there, huh?
Ah, that's good. Right.
Well, that would have. Yeah,
Not even-
that's the.
Not even one sacrifice.
We
that was a
get-
massive throwdown, but there were two more. There were actually two more major fights in this movie. That's why they packed a lot in
Well,
the time
actually,
to none.
I wish
like
I
had
would
the
have done
final
that.
big fight.
Well, the one in the cave I thought was interesting. And
Yes.
one thing that we haven't really mentioned yet is the use of the music, because of the fact that they had that one theme every time they showed, I guess, the undead army, and it almost sounded like an annoying fly or something.
And even Peter Cushing even explained them too as the victims that were, or was it Peter Cushing? Somebody explained who they were.
Yeah, that they were
victims through the years.
yeah,
They were
that-
just like
undead
in the
slaves, more or less.
But we've skipped the two fights. There's a fight scene in a cave
Yeah, I like that.
when they're close to the village, but they don't lose anybody they don't lose any of the seven brothers, and they don't lose the sister.
And they don't lose Van Helsing's son.
But I
Van
mean,
Helsing-
even the leader of the seven brothers tells Van Helsing, "I don't know if we could do this again." And Van Helsing says, "Oh, but we're so close."
he has to pump
Yes.
them up.
Van Helsing gives him that good old British attitude.
But I think if you would have had the final fight at the village, that would have showcased some, the leader of the brothers. He gets infected, so he's willing to end himself.
Yes.
He had a harder time after the countess or whatever gets infected. He has a harder time killing her than killing himself, because he understands that's what he's gonna do.
Well, I'll tell
Very
you what.
impressive.
Give me a moment. We can pull that one up, because I thought that was the one in the town, especially. I mean, a lot of stuff happened in there.
Yes, and that was an exceptionally long fight scene, and some of it was messy.
And it was
And
sad
Peter
because
Cushing,
people that all the characters you came to like were getting killed off.
yes,
The brothers.
and Peter Cushing does a torch dance, a tiki dance, while he's fighting the undead.
That's true.
So yeah, so they've already had the first fight in the cave, and the oldest, I don't know if is he the oldest brother or just the leader of the brothers. He tells Van Helsing, "I don't know if we could do this again. I don't think we'll live through it." And Van Helsing says, "You've got to. You're so close." And so they get to here.
Yes.
Now they've kind of put up some defenses.
Yeah,
In-
this
in
is
the
in the village. Yeah.
Even though one of these doors was knocked off earlier, and they had to kind of set it up and put the 2x4 over to hold it up. But now we're coming to the final fight, the big one.
Yeah, and it is extended.
But as I've said before, why didn't they just reach for the ambulance? That was part of the story that Van Helsing told earlier.
Right, and it worked. So I
Well, plus he even told them to go for the heart, and they only did it like once or twice with everything that was happening.
right.
Yes.
Language barrier.
See, that I thought that's a kind of a really modern.
one thing I did notice here, there was a lot of pitchforks on that set.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pitchforks.
I'm also thinking that maybe Thriller took a couple of things from this video, from this movie.
If who took? What's that?
You know how Thriller's got all the zombies and coming out of the
Oh,
grave?
yeah.
And this is like
Could be.
it's like 6 or 7 years before Thriller. You know, what's funny is there was a scene earlier where this um, group of vampires devastated a town and was killing all the women.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the villagers kind of started to fight back.
But yeah, it wasn't doing any good.
Yeah.
Well, that's because it took a round eye to show them how to do it.
As well, they weren't kung fu masters.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. I think the Countess needs a little bit more of a shirt there. Just saying.
They're coming through the breach. Okay, and that would be what I would consider to be a gongshi, especially with those goofy teeth. Well, that kind of sucks.
Good timing. That's why he's the leader of the Seven Brothers.
Yes. But the guy with the spear should be coming up behind him. Does anybody know anything about him, the oldest or the main brother, or however you want to look at it?
Like, he was a famous Hong Kong actor. I know that.
Well, most of these guys definitely wore and later martial arts films.
I feel kind of bad. I should have done a little bit more research. There was so much going on, and I'll tell you another thing. It's epic from this side. They were like so far outnumbered. That was another reason why this was a great fight.
Yeah.
I mean, in
David Chang.
Kung Fu movie things, absolutely.
Well, he was in the 1987 comedy It's a Mad, Mad, Mad World. Yeah.
As John. Yeah, he's
Just
still
saying.
alive and making films. But a lot of King of Fish, Lost Kung Fu Secrets.
I mean, he does look pretty young in here, so. There goes one twin.
Of course. The other one couldn't be fighting. Yay.
Let's get some news.
He has designs. Okay.
I will say I like the end of this part. And the villagers go to town. Holy shit.
Well, that's
Make sure you pull the amulet off. He ain't dead till the amulet's off.
Oh,
an act.
She's changed already. Didn't see the blood on her neck there. Oh shit.
Wow, that's awesome.
Wow.
Thank God.
Yeah, never
If
trust a woman.
Yeah, but it was a man who infected her. Just nothing quicker.
But one thing they show it, but they don't make a big deal out of it, that he understands what he's got to do. And he knows where he stands.
Yeah, that confused me the first time I saw this, but
She's free. Okay, so Easton's left. He's dead.
So Junior is kind of fumbling around.
ow! At least we got our left hands.
Since the white one is no longer available, she's now on the menu.
Exactly. Why wasn't he doing that sooner?
Well, yeah, because, in the cave, they kind of brought that up.
Well, they showed him flying around with that torch. It just didn't make any contact, I guess.
He's doing a tiki dance.
Yeah.
Oh, stole the girl.
Damn it.
Hey, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
So, are you ready for this? The older brother, David Chang, and he's still alive.
Yes.
Didn't he make a movie in like 2023?
2025.
Oh, okay.
If I saw that correctly, he was doing a TV show.
When you saying the oldest brother, you talking about the guy who's like the Oriental star in this?
The guy who just killed himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, the brother.
Take himself out because he didn't return the vampire.
Because he knew, what he...
You can tell she's one of the stars. They don't rip her top off.
Hey, you know what's funny is her name is Shizu. I just keep thinking of a little dog.
Jitsu.
That's what I was thinking.
I say nothing.
She's still with us. 21 years old. Apparently she's a famous actress over there.
Right.
Alone, actually.
And Peter Cushing shows how it's done.
Actually, this is probably the best special effects of the entire movie. Or is it just vile?
Took him down.
Her big film before this was the Lady Hermit with Cheng Pei Pei.
Are we talking about the female?
Shizu, yes.
Okay.
She was a very successful actress in the country.
This was all Hong Kong people, right? I mean, this is all Hong Kong actors.
With the Shaw brothers, yes. Wait, something's not quite right.
Right.
So everybody else has kind of walked out, but
Can't help but think we missed something.
Darth Vader.
Helsing, across the globe, even to this very place do you plague me. Dracula.
would it have been wrong if he would have said "prig me"?
Dracula.
I'm sorry. I know that's wrong, but damn, it would have been.
A curse on you and your house.
Show yourself. Or must you hide behind the image of another man?
Very Shakespearean.
Is the mighty Dracula too frightened to reveal his face to me?
I am Dracula, Lord of Darkness, Master of the Vampires, Prince of the Undead, Ruler of the Damned.
Prove it.
Right, Van Helsing. You will once more see my face before you die.
Actually, I thought it would have been funny if he'd like stabbed him like in the middle of transformation. Yeah.
Opening.
It came out half and half. That would have been hilarious. Or he still had the cheesy mustache.
Behold, Van Helsing. Look on me now.
He's gonna force him to go into musical theater. Oh, isn't that a bitch slap? Isn't that what we would call a bitch slap?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the backhander. Oh.
If I remade this movie, what I would show this after this is Van Helsing pissing on his ashes. Understand, this is 2025, man.
The last time I deal with you.
This damn it. But one thing I kind of always wondered about, what if you had two guys collect two different parts of the Dracula's ashes and then they both give him human blood?
So what? Somebody comes up with a pair of legs.
Yeah.
It's
And
totally
he
right.
opens up the fucking trunk.
Well, I was thinking the thing is maybe it would be like some kind of supernatural cloning, because really it's the essence that they're trying to bring out. It's not necessarily the entire.
Yeah, but it would be funnier if he did it two half vampires.
Either that or they both turned
We
out like
need to write a script that way
they're both woke.
They're both-
because the legs are trying to
they're
find.
both- yeah, they both
know
turn
what
out
the
to be
point
vegetarians.
So what they find, the guy who
Chinese
makes the
farm.
legs, they stomp him to death or some shit like that. And they just take off walking down the road.
Yeah, looking for his upper half, and the upper half is trying to find a wheelchair or something, or trying to roll his way down the street looking
He's
for.
dragging himself down the road. And,
Yeah.
uh.
So
They
as
don't
of
feel like they're not gonna-
as of this date, that's the last we see of Hammer Dracula.
A moment of
I'd also
silence.
put out this. It's interesting that the Chinese guy couldn't live happily ever after with the Western female, but apparently,
It is.
But apparently, the
American
British guy
the
can.
Western guy,
Can
it's
have-
like, and
can
this
have-
was around the same. When was the Boxer Rebellion and the Opium Wars?
What's that like the 18s?
Well, both of those
late
were
50s.
early. Opium Wars,
Oh,
I
that was
thought, was
turn of the century,
1890s or something.
Well, there was a
Late
couple of
19th
but the
century.
Boxer Rebellion.
That was Dragon.
Boxer Rebellion was in the 20th century. Though.
Yes, it was just barely. And Charlton Heston was in the movie.
Of
So was
course.
Mako.
But you got to see Peter Cushing kick some ass, so who could ask for more?
What?
Well, when he was dancing with the torch there,
Yes.
he just needed a grass skirt.